Hello there, people of the internet. So today I have a very special one for you guys. This right here is a Yamaha, what is it, EG112? That is right? Yeah, Yamaha EG112. Not a particularly desirable guitar, not a particularly high-end guitar. With the research I've done on this one was 1982 production, if memory serves me correctly, but I looked that up many years ago. It might be 1986, it might be 1987, sometime around that point. But whenever I had gotten this guitar, I had gotten it from my brother-in-law at the time. And whenever I received this guitar, I was probably, I don't know, 10 years old, maybe? And whenever I'd gotten it, this guitar was not in functioning order. I remember my brother-in-law telling me, hey, sometimes you gotta jiggle this, and sometimes you gotta wiggle that, and sometimes you gotta kind of finagle this thing to get it to work, and even then it didn't really make all that great of sound. There was definitely issues with this guitar. So back during my youth, whenever I say my youth, I mean like pre-teenage years of youth, I tried going into this thing to fix this thing and get it working well enough to start making sounds. I remember the pickup selector right here was actually not functional, and I had no money to be able to get myself one, so I actually completely tore out the pickup connector switch, and I connected all three of these pickups to just, all kind of play at once whenever I played the guitar. So there was no pickup selector, it was just you have all three pickups, that's what you got, go make some sound with it. Now, even whenever I did that, just because I didn't have a soldering gun or anything like that. As a matter of fact, what I used as a soldering gun, I took a number 2 pencil and I cut a lot of the graphite out to where I had probably about, an inch of graphite sticking out of that number 2 pencil. And then you wrap 2 wires around that from something like, I don't know what they're called, those adapters that you plug into a wall that have wires coming out. So you cut off the end to where you have 2 exposed wires, wrap that around the graphite will actually heat up hot enough to melt solder, and that was my soldering gun. And I used that soldering gun to try and fix this guitar as best I could. And at one point, I can't remember when, apparently I did put in a selector switch in this thing, but I also remember this guitar not working properly, or there being something funky about it, or there's something going on with this guitar, but I haven't touched this guitar in like a decade, so I have no idea what's going on with this guitar. I literally could not tell you guys. So I don't know what to expect whenever I plug this thing in. Whenever my brother-in-law had given this to me, he's a huge guitar guy, fantastic player. He knows absolutely everything whenever it comes to these instruments, and I am very much a new player. As a matter of fact, with me making this YouTube channel, as I progress through the YouTube channel, you guys will see my progression with my capabilities and my practicing come to fruition. I'm hoping to, I know my earlier videos are like extreme noob. I saw a couple of things that I could sort of do, but then as time progressed, I have noticed that my skills have gotten better, and I'm going to keep doing that. That's one of the reasons why I'm making this YouTube channel, to give myself a reason to practice. But what was I just talking about? My brother-in-law, excellent guitar player, clearly significantly better than myself. But I believe this guitar had a proper setup back whenever he had it. I'm not sure when he got it, not sure if he got it new or used, or what the story behind him having it is. But I noticed that our bridge right here has that stereotypical stair-step configuration of a guitar that is in proper intonation. I do not know if this is in proper intonation, but well, that has the stair-step bridge, so that tells me there's a solid possibility. We got ourselves a funky-looking whammy bar on this thing. I have no idea where that came from. Completely clueless, but our trim system seems to still be functional, and I hear some crackling in there. There might be a little bit of rust inside of that system. This will be fun to play with, and if we have any problems with this guitar, I might make a part 2 where I go ahead and I fix this thing up. So I remember this thing being in decent quality. Yeah, the fret ends aren't sharp. The actual board itself looks good. It's a pretty lightweight guitar. I'm not sure what this is made of, but my bet would probably be basswood or something like that. This right here looks like a rosewood fretboard. It's obviously a 2-piece fretboard. Besides that, just the neck bolts on. It's a typical Stratocaster. So let's go ahead and plug it in and see what it sounds like. Before I do that, I'm going to tune it up without plugging it in, best that I can. This way it doesn't sound just completely awful. Okay, I am astonished at just how in tune this thing was. I did notice that whenever I pulled these strings, we got a little bit of buzzing on the high, or the low E and the A string. So there's just a little bit of buzzing on that, so I might have to make a truss rod adjustment. I'll go ahead and I'll do that, you know, down the road. Let's see if this guitar even makes noise, because honestly, I have no idea what to expect. The strings, I think I swapped them out a couple of years ago, but they're not really all that used. There are some areas where we have a little bit of rust starting to show up, but that should be good enough to at least see if this thing makes sound. So I'm going to turn on the amp. This right here is no pedal. Oh god, the buzz on that. No pedal on this thing, but it does make noise. Very buzzy though. Oh god. Alright, make some adjustments, get a little bit of our buzz to go ahead and stop there. So this right here, there's our neck pickup. So that is clearly making noise. Let's see if our middle pickup makes noise. Alright, middle pickup does not make noise. So that's something. Middle pickup is completely dead. Now we have the bridge humbucker. Oh, that makes noise. Fantastic. Where is my guitar pick? Actually, whenever I received, since we're talking about guitars, whenever I received this guitar many years ago, I also received one singular Fender pick that looked a lot like this, but was also, you know, instead of being blue, it was red. I think it said Fender on it, and I used the hell out of that guitar pick, and I still have it. As a matter of fact, I have it in my safe. How many guitarists out there can say that they still have their first guitar pick? So let's go ahead and just, this right here is just going to be a couple of clean notes. Here's E. Doesn't sound bad. E minor. We're still on the bridge pickup, so. There's actually a lot of clarity with that bridge pickup. We can very, very clearly hear the different notes that we are playing with this guitar. Whenever it comes to a lot of your budget tier guitars and whatnot, oftentimes people have a difficult time picking out these notes. They just kind of merge together. And, well, we're not really having that with this guitar, despite the fact that it very much is a budget guitar. I do want to point out that these are not the original pickups on this thing, as you can clearly tell from our non-functioning pickup right there. None of these pickups are the original pickup. And they're not only not original, they're not even the same color. And that's a clear indication that these pickups have been swapped out at one point or another. And I did that myself back many, many years ago because the guitar I had received had non-functioning pickups. So I swapped them out. I have no idea what these are. I did this so many years ago, and obviously I just used whatever I could get my hands on. So this is not a testament to what the Yamaha EG112 pickups actually sound like. This is just what I threw in. You notice the pickguard actually has a darkening to it. That's because my brother-in-law was a smoker, and that's actually tobacco stains from this guitar. Originally, this pickguard would have looked very white, like the pickups right there on the guitar. I'm not sure how well that's popping up on camera. So this right here is going to be the neck. This is the neck pickup. Let's go ahead and just see if we can hear some of these tones. I like the way that the neck pickup sounds. Whenever it comes to a Strat, I feel like the neck pickup is probably going to be the more snappy Strat sound. Not that we're doing anything snappy here, but I do like the way that the neck pickup sounds. I like the aggressiveness of the bridge pickup. I do like the aggressiveness of the bridge pickup, but I also like the snappy sound of our neck pickup. If I go through and I play just a couple of easy power chords from our neck pickup and our bridge pickup, the bridge pickup obviously has some significantly, it's definitely a lot warmer than the neck pickup. The neck pickup is going to be more snappy. But let's play something. It almost sounds like a freaking delay effect. I don't have any pedals on, do I? No, I don't. Listen to that sustain. I know it's electronic. If that was acoustic, man, that would be sweet. I like this guitar. This is actually really nice. The action on it, not exactly where I would like it, but not exactly all that high either. That's probably 2 millimeters, maybe 3-ish or so at the 12th fret. So not terrible, not great, but not terrible. Okay, so that's our bridge pickup. Let's go ahead and try that same thing with our neck pickup. Let's do. I really like that neck pickup too. I just like these pickups. I have no idea what these are. I might pull apart this guitar and I might check out what these are because, man, these sound good. Okay, alright. Well, let's go ahead and do the standard test that I normally do. I got a variation of Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here, and this is one that I learned many years ago just from listening to the song. This isn't how it's actually played, but this is how I do it. And then they go into the G chord and they start strumming, and don't expect me to do that and start singing because that's when the vocals show up. So let's go ahead and test our whammy bar, why not? I'm just gonna do an E. Whammy bar works. Let's dive bomb that bitch. That's fun. Let's do a power chord. Okay, now that we have done that a couple of times pretty aggressively, let's see how in tune it still is. Not that bad. I have definitely seen worse whenever it comes to dive bombing on a cheap guitar. Of course, this guitar is from the 80s, so it's definitely better than your modern day cheap guitars. So let's go ahead and turn on a pedal here. This is distortion. Oh god, that's definitely distortion. Let's see how these sound with a bit of distortion. Fantastic, that sounds great actually. Let's go ahead and turn that up a little bit, turn this one down a little bit, see how that sounds. Oh god. Oh, we got something breaking out here. What's going on, buddy? So we have something breaking out. These cheapo pickups might not be the best for heavy distortion like that. I do like the way that the distortion sounds. Okay, so that's our neck pickup. Let's see how the bridge pickup sounds. These humbuckers sound with some distortion. awesome. Okay, this guitar sounds pretty good with just a little bit of distortion added to it. I'm not sure which distorted pickup I like better. Oh god. Let's try our neck. Alright, that's our neck. Let's try our bridge. The bridge is definitely a more significant pickup, which makes sense because it's humbucker and, you know, a bridge pickup. So the neck pickup, I mean, it's nothing to write home about. But man, that bridge sounds like fun. Have I checked out a Telecaster on this channel yet? I'm not sure if I have. If I have not, I will have to. Hey, you shut your whore mouth. Alright, here, check this out. We're gonna take this hand away. Listen to that. That actually sounds pretty damn cool. I might have to implement that. Because man, that does sound awesome. Alright, here's an E. Sounds good. Here's an A. Distortion does sound good on this guitar. On the outside of the guitar, things look good, but we obviously have a couple of problems with it. Nothing major, but I mean, the guitar looks all right. I remember like setting this thing up to look all right, but at the same time, yeah. There's a lot of internal issues with this guitar. The solder job on this thing is just an absolute nightmare. I'm willing to bet that this middle pickup does actually work. The solder inside of the guitar may have just come loose over the, 15 years that I've owned this guitar and the 10 that it's just been, thrashing around in storage, being moved around from trailer to garage to, out back to just all sorts of places. There's a lot of places that this guitar has gone. But we do have two functioning pickups, which I was definitely not expecting. And we actually have, the neck and the setup is not that bad on this guitar. I can't remember if I had it professionally set up. I don't think that I did, and I don't believe that my brother-in-law did either. I think that I just played around with this thing until I got it close enough to what I was looking for. And I have no idea if I ever adjusted this bridge. It might be intonated, it might not. There's dust just absolutely all over this guitar. Look at that, just because this thing's been sitting in storage. But hey, now that I know that I have some functioning pickups on this thing, I think I'm gonna go ahead and like open up this guitar, see if I can get that middle pickup working. And I'd have actually a pretty damn decent Stratocaster. This is actually very nice. I'm gonna have to replace those strings though, because my god, those sucked to play around with. It looks like I did at one point replace the strings, because that is definitely not a string replacement job. The tuners on the back of the neck, I'm not sure if I talked about that or not, but they look like they're just regular, standard, unbranded tuners. Nothing special to that. The guitar body itself, tons of scratches. The paint has been nicked and chipped. And oh yeah, I replaced the pods on this thing, and the pods were the wrong size because I got the cheapest thing I could find because I was 10 years old at the time. And so the original knobs do not sit on the pods properly to be level with the guitar like it's supposed to be. I mean, they still work. It's there. It does its job. But at the same time, it's just not the right size. And I have no idea what sort of selector switch I have here either. Probably the same place I got this ugly looking whammy bar. This guitar is just a freaking absolute monster. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. What did you guys think of this little guitar with a very beautiful story behind it? Whenever I'd gotten this from my brother-in-law, he was just known for his guitar playing. That was like one of his better skills. And I mean, he was just incredibly impressive among not only my family, but friend groups and whatnot. They're always just absolutely blown away at his capabilities to be able to play guitar and play it very, very well. So whenever I had gotten this guitar, you know, I had no idea how to play guitar at the time. Obviously, I did not practice much whenever I was growing up. There's a lot of reasons for that. But whenever I had gotten this guitar, I kind of like saw it as a, I don't want to call it a holy relic because that sounds sacrilegious, but I'm going to, just for the sake of trying to represent what I am meaning here, I considered it to basically be a holy relic. Like, hey, I have this master guitar player giving me one of his guitars to be able to practice and learn with, and I did not because of my situation at home. But hey, I got one of this guy's, you know, guitars, like one of his better guitars too. I mean, he had some pretty crappy guitars, and a Yamaha EG112, even if it is, you know, factory and whatnot, is not that bad. This one has clearly been set up properly at one point or another, you know, a decade ago. And although whenever he had given it to me, he said, you know, the internals were not quite working all that great. You had to finagle some stuff. Like, I think that the tone had to be in a specific position in order to actually hear some sound from the guitar. And I'm pretty sure that whenever you had no sound coming through the pickup, you had to, like, kind of nudge your selector switch a little bit to see if you can get that pickup to start making sound. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. So during that time period, that's whenever I got in here and changed around all the internals. I think that I still have the pickups for this thing, and I think that one of them still worked. I don't think that the other two did. I'm not positive of the story behind this guitar. I'm not sure if it's gotten wet over the years. I'm not sure how it was stored. I mean, I was born in 1996, so this guitar is already a decade plus older than I am. So that's just something that I can't contribute to. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. I do appreciate your time. I really like this thing. This is actually very, very nice. You can see up here on the first, like, 5 frets, there's a lot of wear to the frets just from this guitar being played, and that is pretty awesome. All right, y'all. Well, I will see you guys on the next episode. Looks like my truss rod adjustment is right there. It's got one of those stupid little things that you got to take off in order to access your truss rod. I hate those. I will see you guys on the next video, because I imagine I'm probably going to make another one of these because I'm having fun. And I'll see y'all there. I actually have another guitar I want to check out. Kind of a similar-ish story to this one. We'll dive into that one next time.